Mint, and today I'm doing another episode of my Aspie vlog! Yay! So, today I wanted to talk about autism and how it relates to depression and anxiety. Sadly, a lot of people with autism also suffer from chronic depression and anxiety and other problems like that. And that is very sad, and as I've said before, you shouldn't accept that that's just how it is. Because autism does not make you automatically depressed. The problem is, like, for me, I am not depressed because I have autism. I am depressed because people have treated me like shit for having autism. Do you get the difference there? It's not my autism, it's people not being okay with me having autism. And I think that's a very important distinction to make, because we cannot just accept that people treat people with autism like shit, and it's not okay. And it shouldn't be in any way accepted. When I was growing up, I didn't have an autism diagnosis until I was 15, 16, and before that I was already really bullied in school. I always knew that I was different, but I didn't know why. And growing up in a small community, as I did, people are not really okay with you being different. So I was really badly bullied in my school. I didn't have any friends, and I got beat up in school, and it was really bad actually. And that has stuck with me, and I still have problems because of being treated badly. So I want to say this again. I am not depressed because I have autism. I am depressed because people treat me like shit for having autism. My autism does not make me depressed. People not letting me be autistic is making me depressed. If people would be a little bit more tolerant and a little bit more considerate, then maybe the majority of people with autism wouldn't have to have depression like they do now. And a lot of people generally with mental illness and invisible illnesses, they kind of say, oh, I understand that you have that. Oh, you don't even seem like you seem that sick. And it's like, okay. And then when I have problems and there's problems and misunderstandings because I have autism, then people give zero consideration, while they before said my autism isn't noticeable, but then they get annoyed with me for things I do because of my autism. And I think also that is because a lot of the symptoms and the problems you get with autism, most people are not aware of. The only thing people see is like, oh, you're just a bit socially awkward and you have weird interests and you're like just a little bit off, kind of awkward person. And imagine like usually the kind of people you see in media that have autism, and then there's other problems for people with having autism that are difficult, but those ones you don't recognize as being because of autism. And I hear a lot, if I try to explain the situation, people will say, but, oh, you're just blaming everything on your autism. And it's kind of like, well, you know, you can't, I think there's a pretty clear distinction on this, and it's that you can't act badly, like knowingly hurt people and knowingly treat people badly because you have autism. That will never be okay. Of course that's not okay. If you're doing things that you know hurts other people, that's not okay. But sometimes people with autism don't realize that stuff they do might have a negative effect on other people, or that they are being annoying to other people. And that kind of is hard when you try to explain the situation, explain what you were trying to say and what you meant, and people are like, oh, you're just blaming it on your autism. Because it's really hard, and I know that me and a lot of other people with autism, when we accidentally do something wrong, then we're gonna feel bad about it for a long time, and it's gonna give us anxiety, and we're gonna, we really think about things, and we learn, but we still, we still have problems with getting it right the first time. And also, if nobody ever told you, then how are you gonna know? Like, how are you gonna know how to do things the right way? I mean, you see a lot of times also that, like, somebody with autism is played off as comedy with being like, oh, it's so hard to deal, was being played off as comedy, is it funny, or playing out as a drama, that it's so horrible to have to deal with somebody with autism, and that, oh, having a roommate with autism is just horrible, and they make fun of it a lot. But do you even think about the fact that if for an autistic person, you are probably just as annoying to them, or even more? It's just that they probably will just tolerate it, because that's what we do all the time. We just tolerate a lot of stuff that we probably shouldn't. We should probably more of the time say, hey, this really bothers me. But it's hard when, most of the time when you try to do that, people will tell you that, oh, you're just blaming it on your autism. Well, like, people don't take your concerns seriously. And I mean, I'd always try to be considerate, and I always try to have consideration for other people, and I generally try to assume that people don't do things out of malice, and that people, when they do something that's negative for other people, that it's just a consequence of something they didn't think about. I try to stay positive, because it kind of makes me feel better and makes my world feel better. And I never try to do anything to hurt other people, but I know sometimes people misunderstand things that I say or do, and a lot of that is like things we've talked about before, about people reading subtext into things where there is no subtext, and kind of like making up subtext and assuming things when we actually just meant exactly what we said. And it's so annoying when being straightforward and saying exactly what you mean makes people not get what you mean. Never typical people, you confuse me. The problem is that the world is not adapted for people with autism or Aspergers, and it just makes it really hard to deal with stuff, because it's just, it wasn't built for you. We have problems and concerns that other people might not have. And for neurotypical people, like people without neuropsychological diagnoses, that what neurotypical or NT means. And just remember that people with autism probably have a hard time already, so please try your best to not make things harder for them, because people being intolerant and not letting us be ourselves at all, and not even trying to help adapt things for us, is kind of what is ruining our lives. And I know that it's not a happy thought to have, but I think that if we all work hard on this, then I think that we can make autism not be a problem. It's just being different, and I hope we can make a world where that's okay. That's all for today. I've been working really hard on trying to make more videos, and yeah, it's been a hard little while, and I've not been as good lately. Like, I've been feeling worse lately, so it's been hard, like, writing in my blog and making videos, but I'm trying really hard to keep up and do things. So I've got a lot of videos coming, so just you wait for that. And that's all for today. Bye!
And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.